Golden Jobbergs! Welcome once again to my channel. This is Sir Job and welcome to Sir Job TV. Para sa lahat po ng mga new explorers, tsaka newly discovered pa lang po ang aking channel, please don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell for you to be updated with my future videos. So finally, we are now discussing here some MELC number 10 in Understanding Culture, Society, and Politics. So I already discussed the first portion of this particular topic. So today is the continuation of our discussion in the topic social inequalities. Welcome to my video number 84. So good morning once again, Golden Jobbergs. So today is February 8, 2021 and today is Monday. So another rainy day na naman po para sa atin dito sa Philippines. How are you today, everybody? So I just want to grab this opportunity to always say thank you to all the Golden Jobbergs who are always watching sa lahat ng aking mga videos that I already uploaded from my YouTube channel. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. So andito na naman po tayo para sa ating daily vlog here sa aking YouTube channel. So first, let us discuss the concept of discrimination and prejudice. What is discrimination in the first place? Discrimination happens when minorities are being deprived of equal treatment. Highlight natin, being deprived of equal treatment and are kept in a lower status by the dominant members of the society. So I already told you sa aking previous vlog, sa first portion of the video ng topic na ito, na meron pong in a given society, meron po tayong tinatawag na dominant at saka marginalized or minority group in a given society. So ang nangyayari po pag sinasabi nating discrimination, controlled po ng dominant group ang mga marginalized group or minority group in a given society. So that's the case. Closely linked to discrimination is the concept of prejudice. Okay. Prejudice can either be positive or negative, but most of the times, it connotes negativities. Bakit kaya sinasabi na pwedeng maging positive at saka pwedeng maging negative ang isang prejudice? Okay, pag sinabi kasi natin prejudice, this is your prejudgment on a certain thing, on a certain concept. Whatever it is, nag-prejudge ka na. Hindi mo pa nakita, hindi mo pa napuntahan, hindi mo pa na-encounter, you already have your conclusion. That is prejudice in the first place. So pag sinabi kong positive prejudice, this is focusing on the concept of the expectations versus reality. Diba? In everything that we do, like for example, we want to visit a place, meron tayong haka-haka sa sarili na what if. That is actually the positive prejudice. Like for example, you want to say maganda ang lugar na yan. Positive ang iyong judgment towards that particular place. Pero pagdating mo doon, nawala pala yung expectation mo kasi iba pala sa iniisip mo. That is the positive prejudice. Ang negative naman po is the negative notions that we always attach to the certain group of people. Like for example, you are living in Luzon. Okay, nakatira ka sa Luzon, but you are always thinking that the people in Mindanao, specifically the Marawi people or the Muslim people in Marawi, you are always thinking that they are terrorists, okay, they are barbaric, they are savages, or what have you thinking, or what are you thinking right now? These are some of the examples of the negative prejudice. Meaning to say, nakinig ka lang sa iba but you never encounter the people yet. So I hope that you could be able to correct within yourselves na before you have to get a conclusion, you always have to see the people para maging concrete yung assessment mo for a certain thing. Prejudice is defined as the negative attitude toward the members of a particular group. Okay, negative attitude kasi pag sinabi natin prejudice, it is more on the behavior, the characteristics, or the attitude of a certain person towards a certain thing. It is a prejudgment of others that allows us to brand or label them in various negative ways. It is a brand or label, okay, na binibigay mo sa group of people, na binibigay mo sa isang social group, even if hindi mo pa sila na-encounter or never mo pang nakita ang mga taong ito. So, nagbigay ka na ng sarili mong conclusion. Okay, that is prejudgment. So, when we are speaking of discrimination, in simplest form, discrimination is an act. That is why pag sinabi natin discrimination, meron talagang ginagawa. There's a movement in the society. Like for example, wag natin siyang isali. Itabi mo siya, wag mo siyang isali sa grupo, wag mo siyang isali sa banding, sa outing natin, wag mo siyang isama. That is discrimination because discrimination is an act, meaning to say there is a force that is being exerted on that particular situation. While the prejudice is an attitude, meaning to say within yourself, meron kang derogatory connotation towards that people but you are not doing something. Okay, wala kang ginagawa. Sa isip mo lang, yun ang definition mo sa kanila. Okay, in anything, may definition po ang isang tao. That is a prejudice. Okay? Pero pag sinabi kong discrimination because is an act, meaning to say you have done something para hindi talaga siya maging part sa grupo nyo or maging part sa circle ninyo. That is discrimination. Okay? So higher po ang impact ng discrimination towards us because there's a force being exerted towards that particular situation. So aside from discrimination and prejudice, we also have here the concept of stereotyping. Pangatlong words po natin ito as far as the discussion of social inequalities is concerned. Okay, pag sinabi kong stereotyping, refers to our tendency to picture all members of a particular category as having the same qualities. Okay, take note natin, picture all members of a particular category as having the same qualities. Hindi po ito nangyayari, pero in reality wala pong ganito. Yung sinasabi niyang claim na having the same qualities, wala po ito. But according to the concept of stereotyping, ito ang iniisip ng isang tao. Meaning to say, a person is now committing a fallacy of hasty generalization. I don't know if you already heard the concept of fallacy of hasty generalization. This is where you are going to consider that the mistake of one person is the mistake of everyone. Ganun ang konsepto. May isang teacher from DepEd na nagkamali. And afterwards, he blamed all the teachers in the Department of Education. That is the fallacy of hasty generalization. A mistake of one is a mistake of everyone. So that is wrong. Actually, we have to correct ourselves for that particular concept. So kaya part po siya sa tinatawag nating social inequalities, the concept of stereotyping. The next one is the concept of ethnocentrism. Though I already discussed this one, pero ipasok natin sa discussion natin for this morning because part po siya sa kinoconsider nating mga social inequalities. Because as to the definition of the word ethnocentrism is the belief that our nation, race, or group is the best or superior than others. Remember, nag-discuss ako nito, this is the concept of superiority in culture, meaning to say claiming that your culture is higher than the others, meaning claiming that your culture is the best from the rest of the world. This is how we are going to define ethnocentrism at the end of the day. So this is part of social inequalities. The next one is the concept of scapegoating. Scapegoating, this is a situation when people encounter problems that they do not know how to solve it. No? Mga problema po na na-encounter ng isang tao in the interaction na hindi niya po kayang isolve. So in order for that particular person to escape or to get away from that situation, i-blame niya po ang problem na ito sa ibang tao. So this is how we are going to define. Let's continue. Often, they feel frustrated and eventually it leads to aggression, okay, or forceful action. Meron siyang gagawin, no, na mapapahamak ang iba, okay, or ikapapahamak ng ibang tao. This is how we are going to point out the concept of scapegoating. When it happens, people usually look someone or something else to be blamed. Highlight natin, look someone or something else to be blamed for their own troubles or problems. Nakita nyo? Okay, hahanap siya ng paraan na maipapasa niya ngayon yung problem na hindi niya kayang isolve. This is the concept of the scapegoating. So to strengthen our idea on this concept, I want to give you an example. Number one example is, I used to be treated like a scapegoat in my team because I had less experience, but I know better now. So, in a given team, for example, like naglaro kayo ng basketball, may paliga sa inyong barangay. Now, mga seniors na po, the rest of your members, tapos ikaw, baguhan ka lang na pumasok sa group, natalo kayo for the first time. Noon, parati pong nananalo ang grupo na ito, ang barangay na ito, napakasikat. Nung sumali ka sa grupo, biglang natalo ang grupo ninyo. So in order for that group na maproteksyonan ang kanilang fame or the prestige that they maintained for a long time, ipapasa ngayon ng mga kagrupo mo ang burden sa iyo. Meaning to say, in a situation, sasabihin nila, nang dahil kay natalo ang grupo namin. Usually, ito po ang nangyayari. Okay? Meaning to say, because they cannot control the crowd, people are actually questioning bakit sila natalo in that particular round. So, in order for that particular situation to be justified, now, ita-transfer niya ngayon ang blame to the newbie ng kanilang grupo just to end up the issue. Okay? Another example when we are talking of scapegoating, we have, you cannot treat your little brother like a scapegoat every time you do something wrong. We usually perform this one at home. Yung mga nakakatanda sa atin, ng mga siblings, pag nagkamali sila, because usually ayaw na nilang mapagalitan kasi nga malaki na sila. So ang tendency, nangyayari po, ipinapasa nila yung mistake, okay, doon sa kanilang nakababatang sibling. Usually, ito po ang nangyayari. Para at least, ang mistake is hindi po masyadong lumaki at hindi ka po masyadong mapahiya in a situation. That is why yung mga older sisters and brothers natin, ipinapasa po nila yung mistake to the younger siblings. Okay? Just to end up the situation. So yan po ang scapegoating. Ito po ang mga problems that we cannot solve. So immediately, pinapasa natin doon sa mas mahina sa atin. Correct? So this is social inequality still to be considered. Okay, aside from scapegoating, we also have the concept of racism. Okay, when we speak of racism, it is the belief that one's own race is superior and has the right to control or direct others. So medyo, kung babasahin natin ang definition, meron silang resemblance doon sa konsepto ng ethnocentrism. Parang magkatulad lang ethnocentrism and racism. But we have to justify kasi meron silang differences, a little differences for this particular terms. Okay, the differences between racism and ethnocentrism. Ano kaya ang mga difference nila? Okay, firstly, let's recognize the version of the words. Pag sinabi kong ethnic, this is referring to ethnocentrism. Pag sinabi ko namang race, this is referring to racism. Okay, immediately. So pag sinabi nating ethnic, identity is acquired. So meaning to say, in the concept of ethnocentrism, identity is acquired. Natututunan throughout interaction. Okay, and ethnic features are learned forms of behavior. Naniniwala po ang ethnocentric people na ang atin pong behavior, ang atin pong kultura, ang atin pong identity ay na-acquire through our interaction. Basically, that's the point. Race, on the other hand, is a form of identity that is perceived as innate and unalterable. Okay, meaning to say, nandyan na siya. Meaning to say, nakaplanta po, innate, normal na po na ganyan talaga. Okay? Hindi na kailangan makipag-encounter pa, hindi mo na kailangan i-learn pa because according to the racist people, innate po talaga ang kultura. Ito po talaga kami since time immemorial. Yan po ang kanilang claim. Okay? Ethnicity may be transient and even superficial. So according to the claim of ethnocentric people, okay, this can be passing through, okay? Ang kultura, ang lahat ng mga ideas ay pwede mo mapagdaanan, pwedeng dumaan sa'yo, pwedeng you will encounter at an expected time, something like that you have to understand. Race is thought to be profound and grounded in biological realities. Meaning to say, nung ipinanganak sila, eto na po talaga ang kanilang kultura. Profound, meaning to say, difficult to be understood. A situation or a kind of practices that it's hard for us to understood. Okay? So, eto po yung konsepto ng race. So, ang claim lang talaga nila is pag sinabi nating ethnocentrism, everything can be learned throughout interaction. Pero pag sinabi ko namang racism, okay, this is actually innate to them. Eto na po talaga sila since time immemorial. That's how we have to understand the two concepts at this very moment. Ethnocentrism holds skin color and other physical features to be irrelevant as long as one is a member of the same culture or becomes so. So according to the concept of ethnocentrism, kahit ang tingin nila or the concept nila, ang banner nila, remember, superiority among other cultures. 'Di ba? Number one kami sa lahat ng mga kulturang existing sa mundong ito. Pero sabi nila, once you are a member of a group, wala po kaming pakialam sa color ng skin mo, sa kung ano yung feature ng mukha mo, the physical appearance, physical disabilities, and what have you. Hindi po yan importante. For as long as you are part of the group and you are part of that particular group of people, okay, wala kaming judgment or we don't care about your physical appearance and everything about you as a person for as long as you are part. Yan ang concept. While the racial worldview holds that, regardless of behavior or cultural similarities, a member of an inferior race who is usually perceived to be so by means of physical features can never be accepted. So best example na gagamitin natin dito is the concept of the white and black American. So both of them, mga American silang lahat. Pero dahil nag-vary po ang kanilang color, so meron pong inferior sa kanila at saka superior in the manner. So according to the racial group, you can never be accepted. Kahit na yung kultura, we are talking about the language because they can speak both English, okay, but nagva-vary kayo sa color of your skin and the physical appearance at the end of the day. So there's still discrimination coming from those particular people. Pag sinabi natin racism, kasi sa ethnocentrism, accepted lahat. Okay? Whatever the color or physical features, as I said to you. Pero sa racism po, once meron pong nag-vary ng konti from the standard they set, no? Hindi ka po talaga i-accept ng mga grupong ito. So this is how they have to justify their concept of racism at the end of the day. Race is an invented fictional form of identity. Highlight natin yung tatlong salita. Invented fictional form of identity. Kasi sila lang po ang gumagawa niyan. Sila lang po ang nagsiset. Wala pong nagsasabing, that's not the universal standard of what culture should be perceived. I mean, of how culture should be perceived. Okay? Pero sa mga races na ito, they are claiming na sila ang number one, na the best ang kanilang culture, na innate na po sa kanila na ito po ang kanilang practices. Yan ang sinasabi nila. Kaya nga invented because sila lang po ang gumawa ng standard na yan. That's not actually the standard of the universal acceptance of what culture is all about at the end of the day. While ethnicity is based on the reality of cultural similarities and differences and the interest that they represent. So, based on, pag sinabi kong ethnicity, based on the cultural or the reality of cultural similarities. Okay, kasi naniniwala sila that by means of movement, by means of interaction, constant interaction, which is actually the definition of what really society all about, no? Once there is a constant interaction, nabubuo ang different sharing of ideas and everything else from other group of people from the rest of the world. So yan ang concept po ng ethnocentrism. Okay? Tinatanggap po nila na there is an opportunity for everybody to learn from other culture. But yung racism po kasi wala po. They are closing their doors for other opportunities from the rest of the world. They are always thinking that their culture is the number one culture from the rest of the world. Okay? Ganun po ang kanilang konsepto. Ladies and gentlemen, there are ways to address these social inequality issues. First, there should be enough laws to protect these vulnerable groups in the society. If laws are already made available, execution of these laws should be strengthened. Another way is to promote programs and projects from the government and non-government organizations for these groups. Educate the public in whatever avenue to address the culture of social inequality. So that will be all for this morning. I hope you learned something from this video and I hope that you will share this video to your friends and to anybody else that you think na ngailangan ng video na ito. Asahan niyo po that Sir Job TV will continue to discuss more meaningful discussions, especially in the field of social sciences. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye!